Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, October 29th, 2023. In the United States, there has been a choosing of the Speaker of the House. And Mike Johnson is now our Speaker of the House after a number of days and votes and candidates were proposed and stepped down or stepped aside or voted down or were stabbed in the back, as the case may be. Now, this is important news to people in the United States of America. And if you're not in America and you wonder why, that is because with the order of succession, if our president has to step down, the vice president steps into place. If the vice president is found to be unwilling or unable to discharge the duties of the executive office, the presidency, then the Speaker of the House is next up in that line. So as far as order of succession goes, this person in our political system is really high up the food chain. Now, I kind of adopt a wait and see attitude to anyone who is new to a political position. Just see what they're going to do. I look at the talk, listen to the talk, but I watch the walk. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. And I don't claim to be a political creature where they know there's lots of ins and outs and maneuvering and posturing that has to go on. I'm a little too straightforward and blunt to get all that. It's kind of outside my personal way I approach the world, but I do know it's there. So I'm just going to wait and see. I wasn't happy that the first thing they talked about was spending and that it wasn't shot down. But again, I needed to put a political lens on what I was hearing and seeing. And so I've been reading some discussion boards about Mr. Johnson and about what he may or may not be able to do. And I wanted to share that with you. And then we're going to give the universe a chance to make a comment about Mr. Johnson and also see if there's some validity to a question I have. I'm going to a share screen. And if you're interested in what I share and you'd like to reread it or look at it in further detail, you can click on the Facebook link that'll be in the bottom of the video description box for this video. Okay, 1 minute, I'm going to the share screen. Hang on. Okay, here we have a picture of Mr. Johnson. And one of the things I immediately liked was he's got a sense of humor. I can see that. Look at this 3-second trolling thing he does when he was elected. Okay, he's winking at the camera. Okay, the Washington Post headline says Trump acquitted. He's right in front of our most recently long-term and powerful speakers, Nancy Pelosi, signed there. Okay, and winking. Okay. And like this person said, I like him. I think he deserves a chance. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Now let's go back to the Facebook compilation, because if you want to look at that 3-second clip and smile, there you go. Now, here are some various discussion points that I read when I was reading about Mr. Johnson. These are not all by one person. Okay, I just kind of cherry picked some things that were good talking points and thinking points. Okay. Johnson was interviewed by Hannity last night, and they discussed the funding of Ukraine, Israel, and such. Johnson does not intend to throw money at these countries. If he is true to his words in this interview, he is going to implement some very common sense things attached to the funding measures. One of the most important ones in my mind is he is not sending money we don't have by firing up the printing presses, but will rather seek budget cuts elsewhere to pay for it. Watch at the 16 to 19 and a half minute mark. Okay, there's a link there. It's also down at the bottom of this particular comment. Another commenter said, the money needs to stop, but the promise of that money is a very powerful tool, and that is how DC works. He throws funding off the table, he's killed his own leverage. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, another discussion point was he is using politician talk to say, we are not sending money without actually saying we are not sending money. Members of Congress are not going to cut spending for their own pet projects to send to the Ukraine, and he knows it. Another commenter said, Johnson was elected as Speaker of the House, not dictator of the House. With his very small and tenuous margin of control, he can guide and influence issues, but anyone who expects him to totally stop funding for Israel or Ukraine are in for a big disappointment. The best we can hope for at the beginning is for him to slow things down, put restrictions on, and require accountability. If he can stop the practice of using omnibus spending bills to fund the government, he might actually succeed. Then, and here again, there was the link here, and here's a easier link if you want to. They both go to the same destination. Down here is where we're getting close to something I noticed was interesting. Here's a 3-minute YouTube clip of Representative Scalise congratulating Mike Johnson on his new role as Speaker of the House. At the 2-minute 57.8-second mark, as he's getting ready to close, he refers to Mr. Scalise, or pardon me, as he refers to Mr. Johnson as the 45th Speaker of the House. And I thought, wait, what a minute. There's a whole lot more than that. Let's go to here and look. Okay. Because according to, and I'm scrolling, if that bothers you, look away and I'll tell you when I stop, okay? According to Wikipedia, he's the 118th. So I backed up, and I'm backing up. If that bothers you, I'll tell you when I stop. And look to see when and where and who the 44th one was. 44th one was Michael Kerr, okay? And he stopped, his term of office ended in 1877, okay? Now, here's the thing. That was when the United States was restructured as a corporation. So here's where we're getting into the rabbit trail for a co-host at Tara Reid. I'm going to ask, was Mr. Scalise, was this a hint, a coded communication that the confirming the end of the corporation, which we know it's the bankruptcy for the United States corporation, is a done deal. It's just not yet seems to be put into play and acknowledged by the mainstream media and others. So was this a coded communication and an indication that we are going to have the public ending of that farce of a corporation rolling out soon? And then other insights and information the universe wants us to know about Mr. Johnson. So let's see what the cards have to say. Again, was this a coded communication of some sort? And about the corporation going bye-bye officially and publicly, and other insights and information about this new Speaker of the House that we have here in the United States of America. Let's find out together. I'm going to switch the camera, little cat, and you can watch me work with the cards and we'll see what we find out. 1 second. So the question is, have Anons picked up on a communication that indicates that as the 45th Speaker of the House, there's going to be an acknowledgement of the ending of the U.S. corporation, a public, that restructuring we were hoping for? That would be the start of it, plus other insights and information. So was it a code? And other insights and information about our new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Okay, our first card is the 9 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Death, Four of Cups, 5 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Queen of Pentacles. I'm finding this very interesting. Okay, let's look at the cards. I'm going to tell you the insights I'm getting, and then I'll show you elements of the cards that kind of bolster those statements. All right. First of all, our question was that introducing Mr. Johnson as the 45th Speaker of the House, was that a communication to Anons for Anons to catch that there's going to be more public acknowledgement of the ending of the U.S. corporation, and that a restructuring of our government is going to be in play fairly soon. Now, don't have a hard yes at this point, but I do have a yes, and I'll explain why. So yes, that was true. That was a deliberate mention when he was introduced as the 45th Speaker of the House. And so that was not a mistake at all. The moving ahead, there are some changes coming up for the political scene for the United States. And then Mr. Johnson is going to be a very good, stable influence for the time he is Speaker of the House, which I don't have a longevity aspect to what the cards are telling me yet. We'll see as we go, because I will get a couple more cards for the near future and see if that contains further enlightenment. But let's look at why I'm saying that we got a yes. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles is showing up here as indicating the situation, and the situation was that introduction plus Mike Johnson in general. Okay. Now, this is a card of independence and success, and so it was not a misspeak when it was said. I say that because the Page of Swords often is a card of truth and diplomacy. So yes, it was definitely deliberate. Now, we said, why was it 45? Because that would have been right after the corporation was of the United States of America was put into play. And that corporation, as I said, it's a matter of public record, is gone. So a transformation has been underway in the background. This is our recent past card. Now let's look at the card indicating the present. We have the Four of Cups. This is a card of not fast moving, but definitely some reevaluation going on. So again, was it a calm? Yes, because there's been a transformation that's been long and slow, and in my opinion, far too overdue. But it's in process. Now let's look forward, because we're getting some insights about what part Mr. Johnson is going to play as our new Speaker of the House. First of all, we can be reassured that what he does, he has some white heart connections. He's playing a role that will include bringing some stability and less upheaval into the American political scene as these changes continue to be made evident. Okay, there's going to be the Five of Wands, indicates a not long-lived situation where there can be some jockeying, and we know, I mean, that's what politics is all about, jockeying for power, position, and control, and dominance, and what have you. Unfortunately, instead of just simply saying, hey, what do the people of this country need and want? That should be the extent of the questions they ask, as far as I'm concerned, and then followed up by, what can we afford? You know, what do they need, as opposed to what they want? What can we afford? Queen of Pentacles, again, a nice card showing here for some in the future. Here we've got Pentacles, of course, is our tangible assets. So that's real estate, asset-backed type of items, gold, silver, tangibles, things you can touch. Okay. And she is a card of generosity and security. So again, we're getting stability, security, bringing this to be a very short-lived introductory session of Mr. Johnson being in this Speaker of the House role. Again, you know, his margin of control is slim at the moment and tenuous because of all the, you know, infighting and what have you. That's going to change quickly. So stability and success and security are showing up here. So that's really good for what we can expect from him. Lack of upheaval and, you know, just a good forward motion to sensible decision-making, sensible spending. I'm going to get two more cards here. We got our Ace again telling us yes, absolutely yes. We got our hard yes, telling us that that was a deliberate coded communication. And again, card here with the 10 of Cups saying we'll be able to celebrate the actions and changes that Mr. Johnson helps usher in for the United States of America. Two more cards, because this is an important political position. And this is a just good to have a full reading on. The Hermit card shows up. He's shining a light on the stability card, the Queen of Pentacles. So again, just letting us know that our loving creator, our divine oversight, however you view that, and including up to and including, and for me, it includes all of the above, not just a loving creator, but benevolent, off-world, possibly future self-help, the Alliance, the White Hearts, which is one of the reasons I try to always have a white heart on my tarot table these days. Okay, just letting us know the now here's one acknowledgement that just it's a reality check for us, guys. Okay, the Five of Swords. Swords is a suit of words and written and spoken words. Okay, and the five, again, fives aren't long-lived situations, but it's always an acknowledgement that there's only been a partial win. There has been a win. Okay, he's got people turning away here. Okay, but he's only collected some of the swords. It looks like, depending on the read, this can mean that they gave up, what have you, but he doesn't yet have, he's smiling, he's got a win, but it's not as complete as we want. And again, because he is in the political scene and he is having to work with a uniparty that does at least pretend to have two sides to it, he's not going to be able to have complete and utter wins. Again, like they said, he's Speaker of the House, not dictator of the House, and we need to remember that and be looking at thinking with a political view lens of actions we see him take. You know, just say, is it going towards the cause of stability and sovereignty and success, and continuing to bring our country through this change process that has been taking far too long, but it's moving. Okay, a little faster than glacial ice, but not a lot. Let's recap. Mike Johnson is the new Speaker of the House in the United States of America, and he's being watched very closely. And there's already some chatter. The one side of the political aisle wants him gone, and another side doesn't know whether to trust him. What's going on? When he was interviewed recently, or pardon me, he mentioned in that interview that he would be making some common sense adjustments to spending that he would support, and that sounded pretty good. The interestingly enough, when he was introduced by Mr. Scalise, he was called the 45th Speaker of the House. We looked at his actual numerical placement according to Wikipedia is the 118th. The 45th would have been the first speaker after the Corporation of the United States of America was enacted in the 1870s. So I said, was this a coded communication to us, letting us know that that corporation, which we know it's a matter of public record, has been bankrupted, that we're going to see that restructuring in the near future? We got a good hard yes on that. Okay, we got the Ace of Wands answering that question. Now, some other insights about Mr. Johnson himself were pretty reassuring. First of all, cards that indicated what we're going to see in the near future. He's going to be doing some thoughtful, careful action. He's going to be known for his stability. He's not going to flip-flop and be confusing as far as where his loyalties and priorities are. The Queen of Pentacles showed up, which is a card of success and sovereignty and some good fiscal responsibility that results in abundance. So that was nice. Just a reminder to us, our final card was the Five of Swords, which reminds us he's still got to play ball. There's two, apparently, supposedly. I think there's a uniparty, but they do pretend to have two sides to the structure of the political system that's in play in the United States right now. So he's got to be strategic, and he's not going to be able to seem to have a total win. But again, with all the stability cards showing up here and the nod to the fact that there's some white heart elements to what we're seeing with him, we're not going to have the complete capitulation or losses either. So Remember, he's got to play with the structure as it is now, but it looks like he's going to play a hand into some structural changes for our government and be actually a stable and influence that we can get some value from. Now, one other thing. President Trump, Mr. T, has endorsed Mr. Johnson. And I always watch because Mr. T, not only shines a light on his trusted members of his team, but also ones that aren't. So we're going to watch his walk and see which he is. Did he get that light shined on him with that endorsement because it is a true endorsement, or was it an advisory to watch? I'm thinking with the cards here, it was truly an endorsement, but we'll see how things play out, and we'll know. Like I said, we don't necessarily have to listen to what we hear, but watch what we see as far as actions, because they speak far louder than words. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention. And as always, I don't take it for granted. And as we approach this final days of October, I hope everybody stays safe. Keep an eye on your little ones. This is a season when there's some danger out there for them. Okay, so let's stay safe and live without fear, but just, awareness and caution when it's needed. Until next time, love, light, and everything bright.